Get off that exhausting hamster wheel and into balanced living with Dr. Marissa.
Promise you joy in the mystery.
Dr. Marissa, also known as the Asian Oprah. Her mission, to be a beneficial presence on the planet. Her purpose, to be your personal advocate to live, laugh, love, learn. Her life motto, don't die wondering. Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
And welcome. You're tuned in to Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, AM 1050, FM 106.5, NBC News Radio, CNBC News, and NBC Sports Radio station, the station that leaves no listener behind. And streaming everywhere: iHeartRadio, Spotify, Stitcher, iTunes, TuneIn, Audible, Amazon Music, Tiki Live, Rumble, Spreaker, Streaker, and more. Why so many places? Well, I want to maximize my splatter zone for more hope and happiness. So there's no gossip here, no scandal, and no K words, no Kardashian or no Kanye talk at all. Instead, I want you to focus on your own reality show and how you can be happy 88% of the time. So I have topics and guests to that end, and knowing that you are all here for, to balance out all the bad news. Because I really, really, really don't want you to constantly be, pummeled with all the things. If it bleeds, it leads, and constantly negative news. There's so much good news out there. There's so much well-being out there. And that's what this show's about. And they said I wouldn't last a year, and 654 consecutive weeks later, I'm still here, and I'm grateful, and it's all thanks to y'all. I am number one talk in the IE at this hour, and I am so, so, so grateful. And got a lot coming up for you today. We have a special interview with to celebrate and commemorate Parkinson's Caregivers Month. That's November, and every year I have John Lehr, who is the president and CEO of that organization, the Parkinson's Foundation, come on, and he brings a caregiver. And so we're going to have that interview, and then it's straight talk. And today I have my guest co-host fill in. She's Ranella Ferrer, also known as my naggy dating mom. So on Thursdays, we do talk about dating and relationship, and I'm unveiling my newest creation called my Successful Swiping Balanced Strategy. So SSBS. And we'll be doing that after my interview with Parkinson. She's coming on a little later this in the show. But, I love to start my shows always with breakfast. So taking a bite of my gratitude sandwich, and that is what we're doing now. I am grateful that every single day I get a new day to just be surprised and delighted, and something to laugh about, something to learn, something to be inspired about, because the planets did not crash into each other last night. I'm grateful that man is not in control of the planet system, that we're not in control of our digestion system, that our body knows what to do as long as that we stay in good emotions that make ourselves happy, like love and peace and joy. And certainly when we're pissed off, be pissed off, and then your cells will correct. Temporary, is that temporary, but I do also want everyone to feel fully, because that's what being alive is about. I'm grateful that I get, there's just so much to be. Oh, this is my season of my favorite season, giving thanks. I sent out my non-spammy happy zine that gets out, if I'm lucky, once a quarter. The people that don't like to sign up on lists are actually contacting me saying, did I fall off your list? I haven't gotten anything. And fortunately, it's one of the last things that gets done after everything else in my 8 jobs gets done. But I'm glad I got it out yesterday, just in time for Thanksgiving season. And I couldn't find my Snoopy. If anybody is listening to this or watching this now or later knows the cartoon that I'm talking about, I love it. Snoopy is like this, and he is so grateful because he says there's always something to be grateful for. And then I have to say, I'm super, 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 super grateful for a woman who turns 92 today. And she has been my bonus mom now for almost 16 years. And we're going to celebrate, me and my bonus sisters are going to celebrate her birthday this evening. But you know me, I got to start the day being grateful for people who have brought so much into my life. So this is for you, Mama, also known as Dolores. Happy birthday, dear Dolores, Nanogenarian 92, and still being creative and loving and kind. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Dolores. Thank you so much for being a mother figure in my life, that unconditional love that I didn't maybe get the first time, but you know, she did the best that she could. But it's so wonderful that the universe brought me someone who could show me what close to unconditional love is. And thank you for all that I have gotten for the past 15 years with you. So share to my bonus mom, Dolores. All right. Bottom of the bun. What do I like about myself? I love the fact that I live out loud, even though in my culture, the nail that stands up is hammered down, and you're not supposed to live out loud. Certainly not revealing, dirty secrets or dirty laundry, which to me, you're only as sick as your secrets. I learned that. And so part of living out loud is I'm known for my relatability. And if I had $1 for every person who said, are you like spying on me or you're in my head? Because I am just like y'all. I have the same, crazy thoughts. I call it going to MSU University, making shiitake up so I can create an entire book in my head that's based on one little thing that isn't even true. We all do it. And that's why I love the fact that I get to do the solution and the healing and the happiness on the show, on stage, on camera, in coaching. Everything that I do is related to being happy 88% of the time, because that is our birthright in life. And that's it for my breakfast with y'all. I'm sure I'll make Ranella do some gratitudes, but I'd like to bring you an interview that I did yesterday. And they are great people. They always win my Dr. Marissa's Beneficial Presence on the Planet Award because of the work that they do. So I'm going to just give their interview to you and enjoy. Actually, I'm going to give you a little bit about them first. Let's see if I can't give the bio, because I think it's important that you know who they are. Now, if I thought I did this yesterday. Is this the one? Nope, that's not the one. Well, I'll tell you about them after the interview. How's that? And then you can be impressed then, because they are certainly impressive. And if I can find, there they are.
Each November, National Family Caregivers Month is recognized to focus attention on the people who take care of people with serious diseases, including the help provided through organizations like the Parkinson's Foundation. I'm so delighted to have back in my studio one more time to honor these special heroes, our two caregiving experts, John Lehr, President and CEO of the nonprofit Parkinson's Foundation, and Carla, see if I can do this right, Velastegui, is a care partner for her mother, who was diagnosed with Parkinson's in 2010. She's also a member of the Parkinson's Foundation People with Parkinson's Advisory Council. Please welcome back to my studio, John Lehr and Carla Velastegui. Thank you so much for coming back.
Thank you. It's our pleasure.
Every year, it's wonderful. You know, this is a special one because my mother also has Parkinson's. So even though I don't necessarily qualify as a caregiver because she lives in Toronto, I'm always giving your information and passing it on to her caregivers. So, John, let's start with you. Why is it important to recognize National Caregivers Month?
Well, you know, at the Parkinson's Foundation, we always recognize November as National Family Caregivers Month. It's an important time to celebrate and honor the 65 million Americans who are caring for a loved one who's either aging or living with a chronic condition like Parkinson's disease. Care partners are essential. They provide emotional and physical support needed for someone living with a chronic illness like Parkinson's disease. And it's not just about helping with daily tasks. It's about providing, emotional comfort and encouragement as well.
That's wonderful. Carla, tell us about your experience as a care partner.
Of course. So my mom was diagnosed with young-onset Parkinson's disease when I was in my early teens. And as my dad took on the role of being the sole provider for the family, I naturally became the person who would accompany her to her appointments. My mom primarily speaks Spanish, so translating for her, ensuring she fully understood and engaged with her care plan, but also providing that day-to-day support at home. You know, care is a 24/7 responsibility. And even though you mentioned your mom lives away, you're still a caregiver because you're providing care for someone that lives far away. And so, for me, care has been a constant from college to the early and mid stages of my career. I've been balancing my mom's care alongside building my own path, and transparently, it's been tough. It's difficult to find a healthy balance. And so that's really brought to me the priority of realizing that I need to take time for myself to avoid burnout. My well-being is just as important as my mom's, and this has been an essential lesson, especially when we're caring for someone with a chronic condition like Parkinson's disease. We need to take care of ourselves as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're definitely the expert on that. It's kind of like that airplane when the oxygen drops, right? You got to take care of yourself so you can take care of someone else. So,
exactly.
Carla, what's important besides that, self-care, for care partners to remember? Anything else?
It's very important for us to set realistic expectations about what we can actually handle. It can be really easy to get caught up in caring for a loved one and completely forget about ourselves and our limits. We need to realize that we cannot do it all, and we need to ask for help. So how do we reach out to our family members, friends, even our neighbors to be able to build that community of support so that we are being cared for and in turn being able to provide that care for our loved ones?
Absolutely. John, what are some things about Parkinson's that many people don't understand?
Yeah, I think the fact that 1 million Americans live with Parkinson's disease and that each year 90,000 individuals are newly diagnosed, which is significantly more than prior estimates. I think they may know that there are a lot of motor symptoms related to tremors, stiffness, and slowness of movement, but they may not know about the non-motor symptoms like depression, apathy, sleep issues, cognitive changes. So it's not just physical, it's also emotional and psychological and cognitive as well. And the last thing I'd say is, no two people with Parkinson's experience the disease in the same way. Some have slow progression, some people have fast progression, which can make it tricky to manage for both the healthcare providers and for the care partners.
Right. I was going to ask you, since the last time you were here a year ago, if the number has gone up significantly, and you just answered that question. So This is a really good resource then for caregivers. Carla,
Exactly.
What are some ways the public can help?
I mean, one of the best things that public and the people around us can do is simply stay connected to the people with the condition as well as to the care partners and offer help. So whether, it's running an errand and picking up medications or checking in, offering that emotional support, and really, hey, how are you doing? And finding ways to step in and give us a break can truly make a difference. That community of support is so important for us and the care partner. And I would say that the other item that's extremely important is also raising awareness about the disease and advocating for better resources, especially in communities where there are language barriers in accessing care or stigma. And this is where truly the Parkinson's Foundation has been key, and they have a ton of information and resources both in English and Spanish that have been so helpful to me and to my mom.
That's great. And John, finally, what kind of resources does the Parkinson's Foundation have for Parkinson's disease care partners?
Yeah, so we have extensive resources for care partners in both English and in Spanish, including, how to identify burnout and how to address it. And, we have a helpline, we have a website. Our website offers a comprehensive guidebook for care partners, online partner courses, care partner courses, podcasts, and webinars. And so to access our website, go to parkinson.org/carepartners, parkinson.org/carepartners, or call our helpline, which is 1-800-4PD-INFO. That's 800-4PD-INFO.
Well, each November, National Family Caregivers Month is recognized.
Well, let's see. I have here their website, and they had to go to a live interview. So that's why I didn't get to thank them formally. But you can go to very easily Parkinson's Foundation. I'm going to just copy that address and give it to you in the chat for those of you who are not driving. You can get this, and I know that many people know someone who is going through Parkinson's right now, including my Chinese mom. It's a very easy way to get support and help. Don't feel like you're alone, that you do not have anybody to help you. So that is my November. Every November, I have both John and a caregiver come, just giving you a little post introduction of John. He's the president and CEO of the nonprofit Parkinson's Foundation, and Carla Velastegui. She's a healthcare technologist and a care partner for her mother, who was diagnosed with young-onset Parkinson's disease in 2010. Based in Toronto, she's a member of the Parkinson's Foundation People and Parkinson's Advisory Council, a group of dedicated people in the Parkinson's community who advise and collaborate with the organization on a voluntary basis. So that's who you were just listening to, and I hope that you got something from that. This is one of the great things about my show, is that I get to put people on who are part of the solution instead of ranting about the problem. So that is what we just went through there, and I'm hoping that you will be able to pass that information on to anyone and everyone who is who might be going through Parkinson's. And we're going to go take a quick break to allow for news, weather, and traffic. And when we come back, we're going to be doing Straight Talk with Dr. Marissa and my guest co-host, Ranella Ferrer. You've seen her before. She's my friend who sings at all the major events, sports events. She sings the national anthem to kick off whatever game is going on. She's also known as my naggy unofficial dating mom, who's just determined that I get in a relationship. So it's always really interesting when she comes on. So we'll be right back. Don't go away. Chuck Willery says we'll be back in 2 and 2. You know me. Peace in, peace out, world peace through, inner peace. Don't go away. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsors and a break for news, weather, and traffic.
Take back your life.
Well, she has been dubbed the Asian Oprah, and she just wants all of us to be happy.
Dr. Marissa, aka the Asian Oprah, says the most important thing you can choose is choosing to be happy.
You are tuned into my weekly talk radio TV show called Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa.
That's the idea for Dr. Marissa Pay's new book called 8 Ways to Be Happy.
Many of us say, I am my own worst critic. Nobody's harder on me than I am. And my response to that is, stop it! Why are you doing that to yourself? You have to be your biggest fan, because if you can't at the end of the day say, I did a good job, who is? We don't have to constantly be angry at the things that are wrong. Why don't we choose to be happy about things that are right? We have the choice. That's our muscle. And life is so amazing if we can see it.
Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
And we're back. You're tuned in to Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, NBC News Radio, CNBC News and NBC Sports Station, AM 1050, FM 106.5, and streaming everywhere. iHeartRadio, Spotify, and of course my YouTube TV channel where you can watch and listen every weekday morning, because I'm on a happy 88 mission, 88 million more happy people in the next 8 years. So on this show, I only talk about things that are solution oriented, that are happy making, because that's what I want you to be. And I also have topics and guests to that end. And guest co-host, you've seen her before. It's Ranella Ferrer. And let me give you a little bit of those who are seeing her for the first time. She's a multi-platform award-winning artist, national awardee in entertainment for Outstanding Filipino Awards of 2024 just happened, and listed as 75 influential Filipino Americans in the United States. She's also starring on the show Revenge Body by Khloe Kardashian on E! Network. Please welcome back to my studio, Ranella Ferrer. Good morning, darling.
Good morning, Dr. Marissa. Such a pleasure.
Always.
You look great.
Thank you. And
I feel-
yourself as well. I
feel
did
so-
look at the mic color. That's just for
Oh.
you. The cover is for you because you're
we're
Miss
both
Pink.
pink. That's
You're
awesome.
Miss Pink. Yeah.
I woke up and I was like, oh my God, it's freezing. So I got the thickest jacket that I could find, which is my favorite pink jacket. So.
Well, before I forget, since you are the official singer first and foremost, and congratulations, by the
Thank
way,
you so much.
on the award this year, and as well as being 75 most influential. Let me just give you a little love on that. That is so incredibly
you.
amazing. And for those of you who say social media is a waste of time, this little relationship here is exactly thanks to social media. We became friends when she followed me when she was just like, I guess I popped up when she was in Naples, where she was moving, and boom, next thing I know, she's trying to get me into all kinds of trouble, all over the place. And
Good
then
trouble.
she has now become my nagging dating mom. That's your new name. You're my
Congratulations.
nagging
It's going to be
dating
like
mom.
almost a year now, right?
January 18th is a year. So let's not like rush it.
Almost a year.
Yes,
Your
almost
first date
a year.
again. Since the dormant volcano started erupting again.
It was so funny because she literally dragged me to a gym to see who was nearby in the working out. I mean, come on, folks. I just she's crazy, but I love her.
You'll never know. The gym is where the people are healthy, disciplined, they have a focus, they have a purpose. They're there for a reason. So the gym is for all the single people out there. The gym is where the good-looking people are, no matter what they're working on themselves. So you're on the same journey. So go to the gym if you are single, looking for someone that's on the same wavelength as you. The gym is the place to go.
There's your commercial. You should have a sponsor of a gym to do that for.
I know, right?
But we're here to, just catch up. And also I'm unveiling. I actually got really creative. You'd be so proud of me. I don't know where to publish it. It might go into it. I'm going to try stand up. And so it could be part of my comedy sketch. I'm also going to put a pitch deck together because it's called The Successful Swiping Balanced System by Dr. Marissa. And there's
Wow.
steps in it. Yep. So step 1 is exit swipe left or exit stage right. You know that. Swipe left,
Right.
X or down, the X. That's step 1. So example, if you if you see a face that only even a mother couldn't love, or it just kills me. Some people, what they put on their opening photo, it's ridiculous. Either, the lighting's really bad or they pick the first picture, they're going,
Oh
like,
my God.
come on,
It's like,
folks.
what are you doing?
It's like an automatic swipe left, or just swipe off. So that's step 1 is to eliminate the nutcases and the ones that are just either not taking this seriously or they're not them. They cut an actor's
Right.
face and puts it on there. So that's step 1.
Well, question for step 1.
Yeah,
Have you ever
yeah.
met anyone who had a funny looking profile photo, but in person they were like, wow, you're more attractive than the photos?
No, because because you only have one chance to make a first impression. And if you're serious about showing your best side or showing, I like people who have the best photo and the worst photo. So I scroll all the way down and make sure, because the first photo is usually like 30 years ago or 20 years ago, right? So if I
Right.
keep scrolling down and get one where they don't have a hat on, so you can see if they have hair, if they don't have a full body suit of ski jacket, that's the only
Right.
picture they have, so you can get a good sense of variety. So no, the answer is if you've got a super goofy face first off, I don't even bother because the first should be
Right.
your, something best side.
I
Then the step
see.
2 is read the role profile. So it's like reading the directions on before assembling something, actually read it, because my tendency is to just go by the pictures, and then I could have saved time if I read the freaking profile. You can see from the profile what kind of person they are. And it's not like they're
Right.
bad or anything, but if they're using swear words all the time in a profile, that's public, right? Or if they've got so many emojis, you don't even know where the words are, or if they're misspelling all the words or their grammar. I mean, it's just, you can tell a lot, right? By the profile. Even you, who seems to allow for anything for me, she's always
I am
just a
choosing
pain in my dating site.
because, okay, these are the things like the profile. I get it when they're obviously, especially with you, you need someone who can, you can communicate with and who is intellectual. But not every intellectual person can spell. Unfortunately, sometimes they can't put their spelling together. Or I know there are some people that I'm like, you are so good in business. You have your own business, but the way they write is like a doctor. I mean, no, like a medical doctor that's prescribing you your medicine, and like you can't understand what the heck they're talking about. So, you know, I don't. it all depends, but like you're right, I get it. You have to put your best foot forward on the profile, but sometimes some people are just good on paper, and then in real life they're like a piece of crap. You
I'm
know,
not looking for perfection. I'm just looking for 80%.
are you
But
not?
there's a, I am, no. I really am. Like I've gotten so much better. So much better. Yeah,
Yes.
so much better.
In
I
what
know. You're not going to
essence?
believe it.
In
I'm
what
going on
essence?
a 4th date on Saturday. Okay.
What?
I
And
know.
I didn't even know about the
I know.
second
I
one.
know.
What?
That's why I wanted to do this. Okay.
Who is
So
this
that's
person?
step, hold on,
Congratulations.
hold on. Step 1 is exit on the crazies, swipe. Step 2 is scroll to the worst picture and read the profile. So put a little balance in the expectations. And
Right.
so then step 3, match in the small text. So small text is texting. So just in that first, your match, they ask you an opening move, you answer that question. You can tell a lot in that first interaction when you're
Right.
talking just in the writing if that person's a match or not. So when
Right.
they say you're beautiful and you say thank you, and then their next line is I can see my legs wrapped around, or I can see your legs wrapped around me. Okay, that's a no, right? I just had another one, here, I'll read it to you because it's just amazing to me. Now, that's my fault. The last thing I do at night before I go to bed, because I'm taking this seriously, because I'm doing it for a year and
Of
I'm
course.
all in. Like I'm
Right.
swiping to the point where it says you have no more likes left. Okay. So I'm every day. You're not going to win if you don't play. So
Right.
I
It's
make
like
it
my
a
job now,
discipline.
huh? I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I'm doing this, right? So this one is like, so already in the profile, he's conservative, which before the election, I was like always swiping left on conservative. But I've realized that there are some ways just to not talk about things that you don't agree
Right.
on. I'm on project agree to disagree. So so they say hi, I say hi back. I said, I think if we just focus on looks, because his pictures are really cute, and not politics, we'll be okay. And the response, let's just focus on looks. Absolutely. We'll be okay. Very beautiful. Thank you for liking me. I said, thank you. And I look forward to a video chat tomorrow, have a live show. So just doing a bit of swiping before bed. Oh, the little bit of swiping before bed. Glad that I caught you. And how do you feel about me? Love to know you. You're so beautiful. Let's be together. Way too much first exchange. I said, that's to me, it's like, way too quick, way too fast. So you cannot just based on photos say, let's be together. That's
Right.
a warning. Okay. I know you're going to tell me, I'll give him a chance. Well, but that's step, what did I say? Is that step 3 or step 4?
Honestly,
Which
some
is
guys are just they
match
are
on
that
small
is
text.
too
Step 3.
quick. That's too much too soon. I mean,
Yes.
there's been times
That's
that
like wrapping your legs around me.
but then you can't help it. People fall in love with you with the first sight. That's how it.
But Ranella, and that's
I
how people
mean,
get catfished, because you're that desperate for people to love you and say those words. That's how people get catfished, because
that's
it's
true.
not
Or he's just a
possible.
charmer.
Yes, and maybe he's even sincere. I dated one who really, really thought that I was it. Like, this is the enchilada, sees us together after one date. I believed him. I really believed that he
And
thought
then
that. And I was like, this is like, I told him all of the things. This is skipping to step 5, but so text is first step, video chat second step, and then 5th step is in person. And we had a great date. I mean, he brought flowers
on the first
and
date.
on the first date, because
Wow,
I had
okay.
said to him, he asked me what I was looking for. And I said, I want an old fashioned wooing, want to, explore and be that kind of a gentleman.
Right.
So he brought flowers. So that was a bonus right there. But here's the funny thing. We went to a restaurant that I've never been to because he picked it out, and it was a great restaurant on
What
Second
kind of
Street.
restaurant?
Nice on Second Street.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
And I went to the bathroom as soon as we got in, and the manager saw the flowers and said to him, you know, is there a special occasion, anniversary, right? And so he just said yes.
And
When I
then,
came back to the table, he's like, they think we're on our anniversary. Just go with it. And I'm like,
okay,
okay, cool.
yeah,
You know, that's kind of
that's
cool.
cute. Yeah,
It was very cute.
yes,
And I had like
the best time.
a beautiful date, said all the right things, you know, relationships are a choice. There's, you know, all the things that, you know, a woman wants to hear. You know, I'm going to take care of you, even though that doesn't necessarily, you know, for many women,
Yeah,
yeah. And then you know, and then he had a great career. I could see myself, you know, being a,
what
you
was
know, a
his
supporter
career?
and a partner. I don't want to get like too, because it's
Okay.
pretty identifiable,
Oh,
but
got it.
it's in
Okay.
sports. Let's just say it's in sports, and he is, you know, he has some renown, and it was just like a really, really good date. And I was very vulnerable with him. I told him, you know, I haven't had a great track record with relationships and da, da, da,
Uh-huh.
da, da. And then after, you know, when with all of this information, it's like it all went out the window. And so when it came to, you know, I said things like, I need to take it slow, or I'm insecure about my body, or, you know, I have a history of not asking for myself, but I'm, you know, I rush to please other people instead of pleasing myself first, or being comfortable with all that. And it was just like as if I hadn't said anything. And so if we had ended the date after the dinner, it would have been great. But because we didn't, went with the flow, and he just demonstrated that he didn't hear a word I said. So when I said I was not feeling comfortable, it didn't matter. It just went forward. Yeah. So,
Was
you
he
know,
drunk?
Nope.
Was he intoxicated?
No,
Okay.
no, but very, very alpha, and very, very,
Mm,
you know, and because he
pushy.
literally forceful in body, mind, spirit, soul. And in one way, that's like a great thing. That's a great attractor, because I want that. That would be a
Right.
match for me. But it was just like, how can you know? Like, he wanted me to, you know, get off all the apps. This was it. We were gonna be the
Wow.
couple from that point forward. And so for me, that was my other girlfriend's like, that's huge red flag. And
Too
this is the
much.
part of
Too
why,
controlling.
right, very controlling. And
Controlling.
yeah, I said, because I told him, you know, well, I could see that, but you know, it has to go through some approval systems. You
Of
know,
course.
Michael Bernard Beckwith, and his response was, when I see, I'm happy to meet your big brother, but when I meet him, I'm going to tell him, you don't have to worry about her anymore. I got her. And
Oh, I
on
think
one
you
hand,
told me about this guy.
yeah, on one hand, that's a good thing, because this is why we get
Right.
catfished. Every woman wants to hear that they, you know,
Mm-hmm.
someone's got them, right?
Right. Of
Which is
course.
where the appeal is. But the controlling, that line between, oh, you
Yeah.
got me all right,
It's
like
a
you now,
borderline control.
it's,
Yeah.
yeah. So
That's
that
too
was, and he
much.
called, and you know, I didn't want an argument, so I texted. I know that's the chicken's way out, but I did say, you know, I believe you, but I'm not comfortable. And then he called and said, we have to talk about this. But I just knew, you know, there
You
was
were like,
just nothing
no.
to talk about. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was
So
it.
that's step 5. That's big meeting, first date, knowing that, you know.
Right.
But let's go back to step 4, because after talking or texting, here's the thing that I learned. People want to go straight to video chat. I think you can actually save some time and scheduling time by actually doing just a phone call. And it's my version of love is blind, because I know myself. I am super influenced by the pictures and what you look like, which is not always healthy. I don't make mistakes. It's a mistake. But if I look at my history of dating and how I'm attracted to guys, it really is by the eyes. And I could have heard stuff that would have said, probably not a good match. But because I was so the talking before the video chat is a good way to see, do you have the same sense of humor? Do you need to, here's the thing. Everybody says, I want a good sense of humor. Well, folks, there are at least 800 kinds of sense of humor, right?
And there are people that don't. Yeah.
They have a sense of humor, Ranella. They just don't match your sense of humor.
No, that's true. Yeah, that's true.
That's the point. I've learned that. If I have to explain a joke to you, we do not match on sense of humor. Doesn't mean you're stupid. Doesn't mean you're not funny. It just means that we don't have, a match sense of humor. So it's my love is blind step 4, which is before you go on video chat, go on, just talk to them. Now, and people are like, oh, I don't want to give my phone number or anything like that. It's like, you can always block them. It's not that big of a deal. You're not that important. That you can't find your freaking number. Right.
And nowadays, even having a conversation on the phone is really important, because I remember when I was single, men just texted, how are you, or what are you doing? Like I'm not responding to that. Like that's a waste of a second for me to reply back for you not putting any effort. I'm actually supporting your habit of not putting any effort. And conversations are really, really important. With me, I never really went for looks, even though I end up with like good looking men, or like I really like my good looking men, but because I was, like I told you, at the gym, everywhere I went when I lived in LA, going hiking, everyone is attractive, everyone is built, they have a nice body, but then they end up being, no offense, but like some of them are like struggling actors or models, or they're gay, unfortunately. Most of the good looking men are gay because they take care of themselves very well. So, I was so desensitized with pictures, and like sometimes, like I said, and that's why I asked you the question earlier. My husband, when I first saw him, I was just like, okay, he seems nice. But the fact that he called me for the first time, and I was like, why is he calling me? Like, no one calls. Like, they usually just text, and actually strike up a conversation that shows that he put effort. And then he FaceTimed me without me even asking him. So, and then he was more good looking in person than he was in the photos, in my opinion. So that's why I'm saying, like, sometimes photos don't do justice, because they're not everyone does photography like we do, or like they're in the business or whatnot. So I completely understand that. But
yeah. So the conversation. Conversation critical. Then we go to video chat, because even if you have a good conversation, there is, the reality of chemistry and attraction. And, I told, oh my God, this one was just like crazy. He said he wanted long-term relationship. I swiped him. I wasn't necessarily into his looks, but I was trying to practice what I teach, right, with the swiping strategy. And so, and he had a boat, and he wasn't a liveaboard. So I thought, okay, this looks like a good, potentially good. And he's like, oh yeah, I'm going on a sunset cruise. And I said, okay, would love to do that. Then my girlfriend's like, are you crazy on a first date going out into water where you can't get off? Good point. But it turned out we didn't even get that far, because I said I'd like a video chat. And so we did. He said, I really don't like them. And but I insisted, and I'm glad that I insisted, because, it just became apparent. I don't have that vibe. I didn't have that vibe. And so, but here's the crazy thing. I said nicely, great talking to you. I don't think there's a match, but, good luck. And if you ever need an extra person on your boat, if you're taking a group of friends out, I would love to go for a sunset.
Right.
I love the water.
Right, of course.
And his response was so angry. Like, I never saw you romantically. And,
He was
and
being
oh,
defensive.
oh
Yeah.
my God. And I'm like, I went back and looked at our chat. Like, did this ever come up or on his profile? The only thing it says is long-term relationship. It doesn't even say casual. So I said, well, just for future, you might want to clarify that because I can't read your mind,
Right.
And then he goes, no, I just thought we would be friends and, da 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 da
He
da.
just felt
And
rejected. That's really what it was.
and then I said, it's like that Seinfeld episode where I have friends. I'm not on this app. I have friends, right?
Right.
It's like, I
Right.
have a lot of really good friends. I don't have time to even keep up with the friends that I have.
Right.
So, oh my God. And then he responds, yeah, you're like a bad Seinfeld episode.
You made him so mad. That's why I can't believe that wasn't even necessary. See, that's good that you saw that because his childish ways, that was very childish response. He could have just taken it mature, like, okay, I respect that. No problem.
Well, this
Nice to
is
meet you.
that gave me a lot of, people say all the time, just be nice about unmatching, right? And I say, this is a great example of it's just easier to unmatch and not give people the reason. Some guys are like, why? They just unmatch and I don't know why. And it's like sometimes it's just better that way. It's easier,
Yeah,
ripping the
it
band-aid
is.
off.
No need to explain yourself. I mean, they should already know at the end of the
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Okay. And let's go to the video chat because you've given me so much grief on this because I insist on a video chat. I don't want to waste my time meeting people that I'm not going to enjoy my time with. And video chat is a pretty good way to decide that. And the reason why this one date made me perfectly clear that I will never go on a date again unless I video chat first because he only had one picture. I actually looked him up. And then when he got to the restaurant, I literally, like, he had said, heart emojis, what's your favorite restaurant? And, I'm going to be all you need, kind of stuff like that. And, I'm a tall, dark drink of whatever. And so I, my expectations and, cause he was like 6'5" or something like that.
That's tall.
Could have,
Okay.
could have been homeless. And I have witnesses. Because I usually take people to, my favorite restaurant, right? On Second Street,
Right.
we've been there.
Right. Yeah.
And literally he could have, disheveled, no shower, straggly hair, tall, but like gaunt looking. And I was
I
like,
remember this. You told me about it.
I was going to die. So you have to video chat. You have to video chat. Now that was sorting out that step one, sorting out because and to make things worse, when it came to picking up the check, he's like, oh, by the way, I'm really direct now. Before, if someone lives far away, I'll say, just so, put the moose on the table, my Canadian version of talking about the elephant in the room. I am a little old fashioned and my expectations are you're going to drive to me first date. You're going to pick up the dinner because you really want to get to know me. If you don't, totally understand. But I'm telling you right now, I'm not going to offer to pay for half. So right or wrong, I'm putting my direct expectations out there. And so far, like
It's a better, it's good.
100% have said, of course I would drive to you. Of course I would pick up the check for the first date. And I say, I'm not saying this is all going to be time, but the first time, like if you've made it past step 4, right? Video chat, we're going to have a first date. I know that this is it's not for everybody, right? If you're a feminist, you're offended, good on you. You do you. But for me, I know me.
That's good, right?
That'll make me, So this guy, he finally picks up the check after waiting like 10 minutes and says, so how are we going to do this? And I said, you asked me out for dinner. And he's like, no, I didn't. I said,
But that's
he
not
goes,
even regardless. He's a man.
but he said, great. This is the funny part. He said, I didn't ask you out for dinner. I asked what your favorite restaurant was.
Wow. So who picked up the check?
He did. I was very
Okay.
proud of myself, Ranella, because
Good.
normally I would have said,
Check and like,
fine, I'll pick it up or I'll pay for half. And I stuck to my guns. And
I'm
if you're
glad you
going to
did.
invite me out for dinner, then you dang well better pick up the check. So that was one, definitely have to have a video chat. Number two, definitely have to be direct about what I want for that first date. And this is not for everybody. If you're not for that, we're good. You know, good on you for knowing you don't want that. You go find someone who will, you know, be equal. And I think generation does have something to do with this. So, you
It's
know,
so true.
yeah.
Because from my understanding, like, you know, my generation, the girl, I had one of my, I call her my big sister also. She said that the guy promised her the world. You're the one. You're the like you're it. The next day, ghosted her. Like, why waste your saliva on saying all these things if you're just gonna block the person? Like, I feel so bad. Like, I'm thinking if that's ever happened to me like 4 years ago, I don't think so, because I was the one who actually never showed up on dates. But like, for someone to, I automatically knew, like, oh gosh, shut up. Like I get it. You're right. If someone was like promising you, over promising themselves, I remember one time there was some guy who told me he loved me. I'm like, we've never even been on a proper date. We went on a hike one time, and you're calling me, telling me you love me. Why?
Yeah.
How? Are you maybe
Well,
they're looking at them.
Yeah. And this is where women get catfished, is because
Right.
your romantic part of you overshadows your brain. This is when your
Right.
brain definitely needs to go. So on the second date, okay, I made it to the second date. I've had 23 first dates, 2 second dates, 1 third date, and I'm about to go on 1 fourth date.
Wow.
And I know you want to know.
He's almost in the
Hold
what's
on,
the finish
hold on.
line?
We're gonna, yeah.
Okay.
So
I
the
wanna
second
know.
date for you as a dater, part of my SSBS, my successful swiping balance strategy. Don't start writing his last name. Look for similarities, not differences. And don't, this is for me. I don't like this. I don't like that. I don't like that. I'm looking for things and reasons to stop the process. And that's on me. And that's what I'm stopping doing. So what I realized, Ranella, is this post-divorce, I'm happily divorced. If you think you are going to have a romance and a relationship to make up for the one that didn't work, it's not going to work. If you can see this next relationship in a category of its own. And so even putting things like, I want a long-term relationship, but I also want fun and casual dates.
Right.
And this guy that I'm going on for a fourth date with actually put, I only want casual fun dates. And I didn't look at it because I didn't follow my rules. I didn't see it until after the first date. And my first thought was, oh, crap. Why am I dating a guy that doesn't want a long-term committed relationship? And I brought it up to him, and he looked at me and he said, are we having fun? And I said,
like,
we are having fun. We are having fun. And he goes, aren't we getting what we want? And it was just like this mind-blowing moment of, I don't want to have, I don't want to get married. I asked him why his last relationship, and he said, because she wanted to get married and I didn't. And all of a sudden I went, I don't want to get married either. I am happily divorced. Do I want a fun, long-term, or at least, a little longer than a 3-date relationship in my next chapter book of romance? Yes, but I don't want to get married. I don't want to have to deal with prenups. I don't want to have to deal with, any of that. I'm having a great time. I'm having fun. The third date, we went to Dave and Buster's. Oh my
That's
gosh.
good.
We're both
Okay.
competitive. We're super. And you
Oh,
know how he got me? And
how?
this is another thing that I realized. I've been swiping right on people who do things that I really don't want to do. Guys in nature, hiking, cycling,
You don't even
skiing.
want to do those with me. Okay.
Oh, exactly. I love, and his profile said, I love golf, I love baseball, but most of all, I love a great dinner with really good food and really great fun conversation with
Nice.
someone who is attractive and blah, 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 blah. And I went, that's
Sweet.
it. Like that is a match. That is, and
Right.
we've done that every single. He's taken me to, really nice restaurants, and
Where's the fourth date?
the fourth date is at a Michelin ramen place, and then we're gonna go see a movie.
Ooh. Is it
Yeah,
in the
which is
area?
one of my favorite things to do.
Wait,
Right?
is it in the area, the Michelin ramen place? Because I might know
Yeah,
which one it is. Is
yeah.
it Chiang Rai?
I don't know. I'll have
It's
to.
Thai
Well,
food.
we're not
Yeah.
gonna. I don't know, but we're not mentioning it unless I get a
Okay,
sponsorship.
okay. Oh, never mind. Okay. But it might be
But
that place that I've been to, and it's so good. You'll love
is
it.
it
Okay.
okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
not usually into
And it's a
ramen, but
noodle.
I want
Yeah.
to make sure. Yeah.
You love it.
So I think that I've covered everything. Yeah, it's more important
Okay. So
that
when
you
when
enjoy. It's on Saturday, and then my last thing is, it's really important to do the 4 agreements with dating. Don't take it personally. If it's not a match, it's just not a match. Nothing to do with you being good or bad. Nothing to the guy being good or bad. But I'm really having a good time. It's not just because of this guy. I'm still swiping. We're not
that's all
committed.
that matters.
Right?
If
We're
you're
not,
having a good time
I
together. But what I have a question. So like
yeah.
this person is like on the 4th date. Wow. If that's like a miracle in a year. I mean, it took a while. But like let's say there's a 5th, 6th, 7th date. When does he get to meet your friends? Does he get to meet your friends? Does
I
he
don't know if I
get
want
to
him to
spend the
meet
night?
you.
Does he get to come over your place? When do you get to show how does it work?
When I mean, we've kissed and it's great, but there's no don't have a time limit. I mean, I'm just having a really good
Fine.
time with someone who gets me, I get him. We don't talk every day. I've got my life, he's got his. He's in Sacramento right now on business.
Okay.
I'm like, I don't have to, oh my God, spend
What does he
hours on
do?
the phone. So he's an executive.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll leave
So
it
I
at
like
that.
that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So anyways, we're out of time, and I appreciate, thanks so much for allowing me to present. Do you like my
Of course.
strategy? Isn't
I
it?
actually like that. You know what? It's really a good idea because other people out here clueless, still single. Honestly, I've been seeing like women in their late like 30s and what worried about like when am I going to meet my husband, and they've never had a relationship or never had been married in their 30s, and even getting into 40s, like women that never had a really serious marriage or relationship. But I think
Yeah.
it's just the generation right now, and fortunately
Yeah.
that's how it is.
Yeah. Yeah. So you can tell me whether I should trademark this, make it into a booklet,
Oh,
make it into a
absolutely.
talk, making it to a stand up, whatever it is, that's going to be
All
my
of the
next
above with all of the above with people now short-term memory and or not short-term memory, but like
You heard it here
know,
first. This is
yes.
the official trademarking of Dr. Marissa's SSBS system. If you're a swiper, you don't have to do swipe or no swiping. You can actually have a successful, fun time dating. This is Dr. Marissa reporting live out of my living room with my fabulous co-host, Ranella Ferrer on Straight Talk. It's all about balance, peace in, peace out, world peace through inner peace. Tomorrow is the Hollywood Rebel Report. Don't go away. I always love seeing you first thing in the morning. Thanks, Ranella.
Thank you, Dr. Marissa. Bye, guys.
Now have the best day ever. We'll see you tomorrow.